Tucker Carlson just visited Qatar for an event called the Doha Forum, where he interviewed the Prime Minister. But what came out of that conversation is far more alarming than it seems. Behind the polished words and friendly smiles, this interview exposes the true face of Qatar and raises serious questions about whether Tucker Carlson is feeding the American public a carefully crafted lie, and for reasons that are deeply disturbing. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you probably already know that Qatar is most definitely not what they appear to be to most of the world. We did a whole show about Qatar's massive influence on America. You should definitely check it out after watching this video. We'll link it in the description. This country that Tucker Carlson seems so obsessed with, and we'll show some crazy footage with his interview with the Prime Minister in just a second, but this country at its core is straight up evil. Number one, something that no one seems to talk about enough is that they literally hosted all of the leaders of Hamas for years. And not just hosted them, but gave them luxurious and lavish hospitality. And for years, they've poured billions of dollars into what the Prime Minister in the interview called the people of Gaza, even though we know that it went straight into the hands of Hamas. Qatar is also the sponsor and owner of probably the most biased and Jew-hating and also one of the biggest mainstream media networks in the world, Al Jazeera. Qatar is also currently holding tens of thousands of people in actual modern slavery. Also, outcries from many human rights organizations have suggested that there are over 1 million foreign workers are in some form of slavery as well due to horrible conditions and terrible justice systems. Qatar has also poured billions of dollars into our universities in America. No wonder we had thousands of students protesting for an actual terrorist organization just days after they massacred 1,200 people on October 7th. And now, there is a pretty strong argument to make as well that Qatar is actually buying off some right-wing conservative influencers in America. We'll get into that in a minute, but first, let's talk about Tucker's visit to Qatar. Tucker has a history with Qatar. He doesn't really see a problem with Qatar hosting Hamas since he doesn't even really know if Hamas is a terrorist organization.
You can't claim that they're in Hamas while simultaneously claiming that Hamas is a group of jihadis. They're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly, which I don't know if that's true, by the way. It seems more like a political organization, but whatever it is.
He also has said that Qatar is one of our closest allies and has raved about the country on multiple shows in the past. He's also had the Prime Minister of Qatar on his show back in March for an interview, which is fine. America is a free country and you can interview whoever you want to. Tucker does have a reputation for interviewing fringe, if not crazy people, like Nick Fuentes, and it's not who he interviews that is the problem, however, it's how he conducts those interviews. Tucker is a good journalist. He knows how to hardball people if he wants to. Take Ted Cruz, for example, and he also knows how to softball people. Take Nick Fuentes, for example. How he conducted those specific interviews should be very telling to us. All of this brings us to this week where Tucker Carlson was invited to speak at an event in Qatar called the Doha Forum. At this event, he interviewed the Prime Minister, who is also the Foreign Minister of Qatar. Here's a video of him in Qatar before the interview, it looks like, talking about how much he just absolutely loves it there.
Well, I like it here. A lot. Yeah, I like it.
You have been...
By the way, I'm an American. I can go wherever I want and speak to anyone I want to, because I'm a free man. That's the promise of my country.
I watched through most of the interview and nearly the entire thing was about Israel because even though Tucker has said that he's not obsessed with Israel, he is in fact most definitely insanely very much obsessed with Israel. He said he admired the Prime Minister of Qatar and was grateful for the opportunity to be interviewing him. He said he has never taken anything from Qatar and that he doesn't plan to, but that he is planning, and get this, he's planning to buy a house in Doha, Qatar, simply because he loves the city and he's an American and he can do whatever he wants. Watch this clip.
Last question. I've been
personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar. Both because I am
pay a high check
in Doha, yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man, and I'll be wherever I want to be.
Of course, as an American, sure, he has the right to buy a house wherever he wants to in the world. But he just happens to want to buy a house in the place that is one of the biggest sponsors of terrorism and has very strong accusations, if not actual proof against it, that they're paying influencers, maybe even Tucker Carlson, to exhibit their country. Another thing that you would think would be a problem for Tucker, as a self-proclaimed Christian man, is that it is actually illegal to build new churches in Qatar. As a Christian, wouldn't this at the very least be very upsetting to him? We'll get into more of this in just 1 second, but first, guys, we've been selling Temple Mount Mashiach patches for a while. They've been massively popular. It's a product we can hardly keep in stock, and for a while now, many of you have been asking for us to bring it to pin format. Well, we listened, and now we have the Temple Mount Mashiach pins available on our store in green, gold edition. Also have them in blue silver version as well. You can go over to the israelguys.store to order your pins today to show your support for the house of prayer for all nations, the place where God chose to put his name forever. I don't know how long our supply of these will last, so make sure and grab yours right after watching this video. You can go to the israelguys.store, or you can just click the link in the description below. Tucker then went on to ask the Prime Minister about Israel's bombing of the Hamas leadership in Qatar, and the Prime Minister claimed that Donald Trump actually knew nothing about the bombing ahead of time, and that Israel was just trying to drive a wedge in the relationship between Qatar and the United States. He said the bombing was unethical and unprecedented, and of course, Tucker nodded along in agreement the entire time. Now, we don't have enough time to go through the entire interview, but I would definitely recommend watching through the whole thing. For all of his talk about being America first, it's definitely very weird how obsessed he seems to be with Qatar. Like, he seems to just love this country, and now he's actually buying a house there. There might not be actual evidence that Tucker is being paid off by Qatar. However, there have been some social media posts popping up recently that are, to say the least, pretty fishy. I got some of this information from the Michael Knowles show. So, Emily Saves America is a conservative influencer on X who, in the past, appeared to me to actually be quite pro-Israel. She put this post on X. She posted a picture of her on a balcony in Qatar with the caption, "So beautiful, can't wait to come back," with a Qatar flag. And which is weird because just a few months before this, she posted this on X. Quote, "Imagine calling yourself America first and selling off American soil to foreign investors. MAGA isn't for sale." Well, apparently MAGA is for sale, or at least she is. And then there's this other influencer who's apparently a former US Army soldier who fought in Iraq. His name is Rob Smith. He posted a long post raving about how nice Qatar is, which just looked really weird and canned and almost like it was run through ChatGPT or something, or like it was pre-written out. But what's even more weird is that it looks like the picture that he posted is from the exact same balcony as Emily did. It's kind of funny, but his post got 3.2 million views, but only 1,200 likes. I think most people on X are smelling a rat here. Guys, to end on a more lighthearted note, for those of you who watch the NBA, Deni Avdija, who is an Israeli star, he plays for the Portland Trail Blazers, he just became Israel's all-time NBA leading scorer. On Friday, he surpassed former Sacramento Kings forward Omri Caspi's career total of 4,642 career points. Pretty cool stuff there. Guys, if you'd like to support our work here at the Israel Guys, To join our awesome members program, you can head over to theisraelguys.com/donate or just click the link in the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, don't hesitate to like this video. Also share it with a friend. If you're on podcast platform, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us get these episodes into the hands of more and more people. Also, don't forget to check out our epic Mashiach/Temple lapel pins. Just go to the IsraelGuys.store or click the link in the description below. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.